Have you ever felt totally overwhelmed by a big goal? We've all been there. Well, today we're breaking down project management, a skill that can help you do everything from launching a business to planning the perfect wedding or even landing a whole new career. So let's dive in. You might hear project management and think it's some stuffy corporate thing, but believe it or not, you're probably already doing it. I mean, have you ever planned a big party, organized a road trip with friends, or even just set a new fitness goal? If you have, then yep, you've been a project manager, even if you didn't have the fancy title. So, what actually makes something a project? It really just boils down to two key words: temporary and unique. Unlike your everyday routine, a project has a very clear start and a very clear finish. And the whole point is to create something that's, one of a kind.
Okay, so that brings up a really important question. How is a project different from all the regular, ongoing work that we do day in and day out? Let's really look at the difference here. Think about it like this. A project is like building a brand new bridge. It's a one-time thing, right? It creates something new, it has a definite end date, and there's a specific budget just for getting it built. Operations, on the other hand, that's the daily maintenance and the toll collection on that same bridge. It's the opposite. It's the repetitive day in, day out stuff that just keeps things running, funded by a continuous year after year budget. Every single project is a balancing act between three things: scope, time, and cost. This is famously known as the iron triangle. So scope is what you're building, time is your deadline, and cost is, of course, your budget. If you want to add more features, expand the scope, you're probably going to need more time or more money. But here's a cool modern twist. Some methods, like Agile, actually flip this. They fix the time and cost and let the scope be more flexible. It's this constant, fascinating negotiation.
So, how does an idea actually become a finished project? Well, it follows a pretty clear 5-stage journey. We call it the project lifecycle.
Here's the roadmap. It starts with initiation, then planning, implementation, monitoring, and finally, closing. And to make this super real, let's take that party example from before and walk it through every single one of these stages, from that first bright idea all the way to the final cleanup. First up, initiation. This is the big, hey, should we even do this phase? For our party, initiation is you deciding, let's throw a surprise birthday bash for Sarah. You figure out the main goal, who it's for, Sarah and her friends, and you create a basic project charter. Now that sounds formal, but it's really just the official agreement. A surprise party next month at your place. And just like that, you've got the green light. Next up is planning. And listen, this is where most projects are won or lost. This is where you create the detailed blueprint for everything. For the party, you're booking the DJ, you're sending invites with an RSVP date, that's your timeline, and you're figuring out exactly how much you can spend on food and decorations. That's your budget. You've heard it before, but it's so true. Failing to plan is planning to fail.
Okay, with a solid plan in hand, you move into implementation. This is the doing phase. It's go time. The decorations are going up, the DJ is playing, guests are showing up, and you're making sure the food comes out right on schedule. You are executing the plan, and communicating constantly with your team, even if it's just a couple friends helping out, is absolutely vital here.
Now, this is so important. While the party's actually happening, you're also in the monitoring stage. It happens at the same time. You're constantly checking in. Are we running low on ice? Is the music getting a little too loud for the neighbors? You're tracking your plan against what's really happening, and you're solving problems as they pop up, all to make sure Sarah has an amazing time. Finally, once the last guest heads out, you hit the closing stage. And this is way more than just saying, we're done. It's about paying the DJ, sending thank you notes to everyone who helped out, maybe even posting the best photos online. You are tying up every single loose end so you can officially call the project a success. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. But who are the people making all this happen? Let's take a look at the key roles in project management and see where you might fit in. If you're just starting out, roles like a project coordinator or an assistant project manager are a fantastic way to get your foot in the door. You're basically the project manager's right-hand person, helping with everything from tracking the budget to getting status reports ready. It is the perfect way to learn the ropes from the inside. And right at the center of it all, you have the project manager. Think of them as the captain of the ship. They are the one who's ultimately responsible for the project's success. They set the course, they manage the plan, and they spend their days expertly balancing that iron triangle of scope,
time, and cost to bring the project safely into port.
So you're listening to all this and thinking, hey, this actually sounds like a path for me. Well, the great news is there's a very clear way to get qualified through professional certifications.
The Project Management Institute, or PMI, offers a really clear career path. For a lot of people, the first step is the KPM, which stands for Certified Associate in Project Management. It's the perfect starting point to learn the language and the fundamentals, even if you don't have a ton of experience. Then, once you've got a few years of leading projects under your belt, the goal becomes the PMP, or Project Management Professional. And that's considered the gold standard in the industry.
So to even qualify for that entry-level CAPM exam, you'll need to complete 23 hours of formal project management education. Just think of it like the foundational course that makes sure you've got a solid grasp of the core concepts before you sit down for the test.
And for the more advanced PMP, well, the bar's set a bit higher. You're going to need at least 35 hours of education, and that's on top of several years of proven hands-on experience leading actual projects. It really shows you have both deep knowledge and real-world skills.
So after all this, what really is project management? It's pretty simple, actually. This quote just nails it. It's all about applying knowledge, skills, and tools to turn a great idea into a finished reality. It is the engine that moves things from concept all the way to completion.
So I'll just leave you with this question. Now that you know the framework, from that iron triangle to the 5 project stages, take a look at your own goals, both in your personal life and at work. What's the next project you'll manage?